Hey everybody, this is Demari. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be doing the monthly tarot reading for April 2020 for the sign of Gemini. Now, just to let you know, I will be pulling cards using the intuitive tarot deck and also the Waite deck also. Just to let you know, this is a general reading, of course, so this may not apply to each and every one of you Gemini signs. So you can take a look at your natal chart in regards to your other placements to see if one of the other videos will be more relevant to you this time. So yeah, do take a look at your natal chart and also check your placements in regards to your sun, moon, rising, Venus, and even your Mars sign actually. So yeah, do check that out. Okay, so I'm gonna get stuck into it now. I'll be pulling all of the cards in regards to the main messages using a standard sort of Celtic cross style spread. And then from there we'll go through each one and then I'll clarify as always. Okay. It's actually funny, it's been a while since I've done a monthly reading for you guys, particularly after everything that happened at the start of this year. So I'm really excited to be doing these finally again for you. It's been too long, right? And you're seeing me on camera this time because you guys actually requested it. Everyone that's voted so far on my Instagram page in regards to my poll, I asked whether or not you prefer seeing the cards or myself do the read. Unanimously, everyone so far has voted for seeing me on camera. So here I am. I hope this makes you happy. Yeah, so let's get stuck in. Okay, so in the placement of your current circumstances, you have the Two of Cups. So it could be that you're used to sorry, what am I trying to say here? It could be that you are already with someone here, or the two of you were in a very committed relationship recently, or you have very strong feelings towards someone still that you're no longer with or you no longer were with. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is in relation to someone you're currently dating. There is some very strong feelings growing. For those of you who've been dating for some time or already been in a relationship for some time, you may be looking at solidifying your relationship into higher levels of commitment, possibly marriage, a proposal, thinking about family, that sort of thing. It's going to be different for all of you, but I feel like for those of you who are not with someone at this present time, there is someone you're wanting to be in a committed relationship with. You already know who this person is, but I feel like for a lot of you, it's someone you were already dating or were in a relationship with in the past if you're not currently together. Crossing this situation at this time, you have the Two of Swords, so making a decision how you progress, how you move forward, whether you communicate these feelings that you have towards this person or if you hold it to yourself and wait for what you think may be a more appropriate time to bring up the subject. We'll have a look exactly what could be keeping you wondering whether or not you should, make a gesture or communicate your true feelings on the subject. Because either way, I feel like you are being called to have this discussion, right? So we'll see if there's anything that's currently, holding you back. In your recent past, you have the World card in reverse. So yeah, maybe you felt as though you didn't have the means to bring this together, right? So particularly if you're looking at possibly starting a family or getting married, it may be that you're worried that you didn't have all the resources you needed to bring it together, this vision. It could also be that, there's still things in your life that you're trying to tweak, trying to get organized, trying to resolve, right? Particularly if you've had any financial issues or pressures, there may be something in relation to that you're trying to clear up before you make any grand gestures or talk about taking the next step, right? So you want to make sure you've got everything in order first, pretty much, before you take the next step in this relationship or towards trying to offer someone something really stable, right? maybe some of you wanted to even move in together, or wanted to buy a house or rent a house with this in mind, with this other person in mind, right? But you're kind of trying to take care of everything first before you make that gesture. In your near future, you have the Six of Wands in reverse. So there's something that may stop you in your tracks from making this gesture, or there's some fear that if you communicate this, you will not be successful, you will not get the response that you hoped for, that you might get rejected, or that you simply can't bring everything together in order for it to be feasible, right? But when we clarify, we'll look at that. But there's something, either something in relation to what you're afraid of, or something that's not going to quite come together as quickly as you hoped. But we'll look at that when we clarify. In regards to your feelings within this matter, you have the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So, yeah, I feel like for some of you, it's very clear what you want at this point. Like, you no longer are unsure as to whether or not this is something you could offer, or something like you would want to offer. I think it's very clear in your mind at this time that this is something that means a lot to you, and you want to find a way to make it work. Okay, I think like you're kind of done worrying about whether or not you can manage it and just trying to juggle and deal with all these other factors in your life. You're kind of getting to a point where you want to just get these things organized and sorted and taken care of, so you can focus on the thing that matters most to you at this time, and that is this commitment that you want to make of some kind. And what's crowning you at this time, what's within your power to affect, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse, okay? So this is, you know, the what they call the Wounded Warrior card, okay? So I feel like where you may be a little bit guarded and defensive, where you're a bit concerned when it comes to certain obstacles that you've had to overcome, certain challenges, in order to bring balance into your situation, whether it's, you know, financial related, your home life, your environment, work, you know, your personal life, whatever it is, right? It could be multiple factors, but I feel like, you know, you have to realize that it's, while yes, there will be challenges and sometimes things will not be wrapped up as quickly as you hoped, there's nothing to be fearful of. There's no need to expect the worst, essentially, because you're already taking care of it. You're taking the steps, right? So you just got to keep moving step by step and not be concerned about when the next pitfall is going to come. Because if you start thinking like that and start feeling like, you know, you're at risk of losing everything, then you're just going to be attracting that, manifesting that into your life. So that's not something you need to be concerning yourself with at this time. In regards to the advice, you have the King of Cups in reverse, okay? So this is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. So you're being asked to kind of, I feel like, not allow your emotions to dictate your actions, right? Like, if you allow yourself to give into fear, then that can stop you from taking any steps forward, like I was just discussing, right? So if you don't allow your fear to get the better of you, then, you know, you're not going to find yourself chasing after something, you know, and expecting the worst in the back of your mind the whole time. So it's important that while, like, yes, you are going to be a bit vulnerable when it requires vulnerability, especially when you open up to this person, it's going to be very important that you're completely honest and open and you're speaking from the heart. And that can be, that in itself can be terrifying, right? I get that. But it's really important that you don't close off, that you don't lock yourself down, and you don't keep quiet because you're afraid of how that'll be reciprocated, right? It's important that you let the communication flow freely, but, you know, you're sincere, and, you know, you see what the outcome is, right? It could be very positive, you don't know, but unless you're willing to take the risk, there's no way of knowing. But yeah, just be aware that, you know, it can go either way, depending on the circumstances and the individual in question, and what their wishes are, right? So you just have to be aware that, you know, it takes the two of you to bring this vision together. You see how this is like the Two of Cups here. You're both in harmony, you know, at this current time. So in order to take the next step, it has to be a joint effort. It has to be the two of you coming together and saying, yes, this is what we want. We both want this as much as each other, right? That's really important. Okay. In regards to the external influences at this time, so this can be your environment, people, circumstances, right? You have the Seven of Swords in reverse. So yeah, I think you are like a lot of things that were just kind of stopping you from progressing. I think a lot of people and circumstances that were kind of doing more harm than good have been already somewhat removed from your life. At least they're not having such an impact on your life as they may have been previously, right? And I think you yourself as well, and like not the reason why these people kind of leaving your life, these situations are changing, is because you're being very honest with yourself also and others about what it is that you want, what your boundaries are, where they lie, what you're willing to accept, what it is that matters to you most, your principles, right? So I feel like you're coming to this space of being truly honest with yourself and those around you, and particularly this person, right? You're prepared to now speak your truth as to what it is that you want with this person, right? In regards to your hopes, you have the Three of Cups. So you're really hoping for the win. You're hoping that you will get the response that you hoped for, that this person will want to live with you, will want to settle down with you, will want to marry you, will want to have your children, whatever it is, right? Whatever the win looks like for you, you're hoping that this will come to light and it will be, you know, a perfect time for celebration. You know, you see how the three of them are all gathered together. This is you celebrating with your friends, like your best friends, family members, possibly even with this person, you know, just in general. But yeah, just having this beautiful celebration of the fact that you two are coming together and solidifying your relationship in a more concrete way, right? And then in regards to your fears, you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, okay? Earth energy. Cancer. Why is Cancer coming up again? Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Maybe Cancer. It could be the Cancer that you're dealing with, because Cancer just came to my mind for some reason, particularly with that King of Cups there as well. It could be a Cancer, or it could be an Earth sign that you're dealing with, one of those signs. It may not be any of those at all, so just take it however it resonates. But yeah, I think your fear is that everything that you're kind of investing into this relationship will kind of just fall apart. Essentially, if you get this no, that you're half kind of anticipating that you're just going to lose everything that you've invested into this relationship, everything that made you feel good and strong and stable in this relationship, what made you feel like this could come together. If you're not together currently, you feel like you're just gonna lose it all, and then in the process you're gonna lose your confidence, you know, your grounding. You're gonna feel like if I don't have this person in my life, I don't have anything. That's the kind of what's coming out from your fear, right? That without this connection, without this person, then I have nothing. And that's obviously not true, okay? Like, we know realistically, if we're just like really honest with ourselves, that's not true at all. But I understand, like, in the moment, when you want something so bad, when you really love someone, you want to build something with someone, I can understand that. You can feel like I've lost everything if that doesn't come together. But, you know, again, I feel like with the Six of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse especially, this is your fear. I feel like this is not necessarily the situation at all, but what you're afraid of happening, right? You're afraid that you're going to be rejected in some way. So let's clarify now. Let's have a look at where this stems from. Because, yeah, I'm not getting the impression that that's necessarily the case, but we will clarify that just now. It's funny because when I was going to pull these cards, I was going to actually do it the other way around. So I was going to use the intuitive for the main energies and then clarify with the Rider-Waite. But I've actually done it the other way around, which is interesting. And I think it actually works quite nicely. So I'm just going to roll with that for the rest of these readings, I think. For this monthly reading of April. Yeah. Okay. So, clarifying the Two of Cups in your present circumstances, you have, okay, you have the Queen of Pentacles again. So yes, this could be someone who has strong earth in their chart, or they could be an earth sign in their sun, okay? Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo again. Then you also have the Queen of Swords, okay? So this is your energy, okay? Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Or they could also be a fellow air sign, but I feel like, either way, I feel like this is more like you and this individual, okay? The Two of Cups here. This is you, this is them. Okay, you can switch the gender either way, or you can have it the same sex, or however you want to put it, it doesn't matter, okay? This is about the energy, this is not about gender. So, with the two queens here, I feel like you're both harmonizing on a very similar frequency. There's a lot of passion, a lot of love involved. However, I feel like you are, you know, being an air sign as well, your rational mind does come into the mix. You can't help it, because there's always that fear, that uncertainty, particularly when it comes to anything of, you know, that involves the heart, matters of the heart, right? You guys tend to be a little bit more standoffish, possibly even a little bit more, I would say more discerning, but also possibly even a little bit like guarded when it comes to your heart space. So that might be where this fear is coming in a little bit. Whereas this individual here is feeling, they feel good, they feel quite balanced, they feel quite confident, they feel like, you know, they have a lot to offer. And they want someone to give as much as they receive, right? Sorry, that's the same thing. They want to give as much as they want to receive, right? So I feel like this is someone that could be a very good match for you, potentially, if you're not already together. If you are together, then I think you know that this person is very abundant, would make a very good wife, husband, someone that would make a very good life partner. And that's why you're so fixated on making that a reality, because you feel like this is the person, right? This is the one to settle down with. Clarifying the Two of Swords here, so more air energy, making a decision. You have the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. So you can either make a choice that involves staying with the situation and seeing how things go and not really reveal what it is that you want moving forward, and just hope that someday it comes into the conversation. Or you can actively choose to communicate that you want to, you know, you want this person to be in your life for the long haul, that you want to invest, that you want to nurture into the relationship, build solid foundations, okay? So it's really up to you whether or not you kind of just keep your mouth shut and just sit on it and allow it to go round and round in your mind, or if you communicate what it is that you want this person to be in your life always, right? Clarifying the World card in reverse in your past circumstances. You have the Devil in reverse, Capricorn energy, so you could be dealing with a Capricorn, and the Two of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I feel like you're still working on yourself, okay? I think you're aware that there may have been some toxicity in the relationship that you're trying to address, and to, you know, bring yourself back into balance, to be in a space where you're empowered, that you feel confident, that you're self-assured, so you're not placing any insecurity on this person, particularly when it comes to this message, because you don't want it to come across like you're trying to trap them and keep them forever, okay? That you want to communicate that, no, it's not like that. I just want you to be my life partner. I want to grow with you. I want us to vibe together always, right? Not that you're trying to keep them hostage and trapped in the situation. So I feel like anything that kind of came across that way, any sort of fears and anxieties from the past, you're kind of trying to overcome that now. And I think that, you're starting to see that actually anything that may have been contributing to that, or made you feel like, you didn't have what it takes to offer this person everything, you're starting to realize that that's not true. And then actually it was just circumstantial. There were some things that needed addressing and healing within yourself, but you've been doing the work, right? So you're starting to feel more balanced, more at peace, more empowered, and feel like actually you are ready, and that this is something that you're willing to communicate and offer, right? So clarifying your near future, the Six of Wands in reverse here. You have the King of Swords in reverse. Okay, interesting. King and Queen on the deck. On the table. And you also have the Five of Swords. So yeah, I feel like this is literally your confusion, your mental confusion, and just the many thoughts going around, just like, but what if they say this? What if they say that? What if they say yes, but they actually mean no? What if they change their mind? What if I change my mind, even though I've gone over this a million times in my head? And I think that's kind of like, that's kind of knocking you off kilter a little bit, Gemini, because you're just so concerned, right, about all the things that could go wrong pretty much once you lay your offer on the table. I feel like, like I said, that not that it's something that's going to blow up in your face, but you are just very concerned that you are not going to get an honest answer, and that in some way it's going to blow up in your face, right? But again, that's your fear talking. That's not reflective of the situation necessarily. I'm not seeing that so far anyway. Okay, so in regards to your feelings, the Two of Pentacles in reverse here. You have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, yeah, very well could be a Cancer. I also see the Chariot card in the mix, so we'll get to that. So it could be a Cancer that you're dealing with, or another water sign, Scorpio, Pisces, okay? And you also have the Two of Swords in the upright this time. So this is actually you had it in the upright last time. Anyway, ignore me. So yeah, decisions, Like, it's clear how you feel, but you're just like, I don't know if I want to tell this person though, because I know they've been going through a lot. They're still kind of processing a lot of emotions in regards to various different situations in their life, possibly even this relationship. If you guys had a falling out in the past, or there was some toxicity that arose in the situation and that led to a separation, or or a full-on breakup, or that kind of thing. You might be aware that this person's still quite tender and is still maybe healing from that situation. So you're really at two minds of whether or not it's a good idea to tell them exactly how you feel. You know how you feel about them, that's without question. But yeah, you're just like, gosh, I know this isn't going to be easy for them, because they're still healing from whatever it is that they're healing from. Okay. So, in regards to what's within your power to affect, what's crowning you, the Nine of Wands in reverse here, it's clarified by the Justice card. So this is Libra's card, okay, more air energy, and the Ten of Swords, plenty of air energy on the deck. So yeah, this is talking about, like, pretty much like you've both been through it, okay? As much as this person is healing and has been through a lot, you carry a lot of weight and pain also. But Justice here is taking the lead, okay? It's saying, like, look, you've both been through a lot. You've both made mistakes. There's been up and downs, okay? Ups and downs. But now it's time to, like, wipe the slate clean. Let's start with a new chapter, a new cycle, okay? And you can be the one that initiates this if you have the courage to take the plunge. It's up to you, right? So that's what's coming through quite clearly and strongly. Like, yes, it's not been easy. You've both been hurt in different ways, possibly by each other, circumstances, previous circumstances. but it's time to wipe the slate clean, okay? The karmic balance is being restored, and now it's time to initiate this new chapter, this powerful new chapter, and you can be the one to do it, okay? The ball is in your court. So if you want this beginning, if you want this commitment, then you need to step up and go after it, essentially. Okay. Clarifying the King of Cups here in reverse, which is your advice. You have the Chariot in reverse, Cancer's card, and the Two of Pentacles in reverse. So yeah, I feel like you're finding it difficult to be vulnerable again. Like, you to open yourself up and be vulnerable, and you know that the only way to do that is to just go to that person. You know, don't take anything no for an answer when it comes to having this talk. You know, if someone's like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk sometime next week, I'm busy, you're like, no, this is important, like we really need to sit down and talk, you know. And if you communicate that it's important, it's something you need to talk about as soon as possible, then that person will know, okay, they have something serious to talk about. You know, it might be worth telling them that it's nothing scary, or not coming from the anger, or like, we need to talk, you know, because otherwise people assume, oh shit, are we breaking up, or, you know, they found someone else or something like that, you know. They always assume the worst. So you might need to say, listen, like, you know, I really need some of your time, you know, there's something really important that I want to share with you, and I think you'll agree that it's a game changer, right? So if you come from a softer angle, which is going to be really important, then that might actually get that person guessing for, you know, the positives, rather than assuming that you're going to break up with them, or you're going to tell them you don't love them, or something like that, right? But either way, I feel like you have to, it's going to take a delicate touch, and, you know, you have to just speak from the heart. But if you don't go after this, then, you know, you're just kind of like, I think you'll always look back and wish that you had taken the time to do that, you had taken the plunge. You know, I feel like you were so clear in your heart space and your mind, like what you should really do, what you really want to do, but you chose the opposite because fear of being vulnerable. You know, pretty much that's what I'm getting. So it's like, you know, what have you got to lose, really? Like, if you don't do this, you're going to be beating yourself up. So, you know, why not take the plunge? Okay, in regards to your external factors at this time, Seven of Swords in reverse here. You have the Page of Cups in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse. So we've got another set. We've got King and Queen of Swords, and we have King and Queen of Pentacles. So that's, yeah, this is a serious connection. You know, it's no joke, pretty much. And I feel like actually you're probably mirroring each other in you know, slightly different ways, but very similar, right? Because I feel like neither of you felt very secure in yourself recently, and that's what's prevented you from offering something more, right? Because you're both just kind of like had so much bullshit to deal with in your own lives as individuals, as well as obviously dealing with whatever, you know, argument or falling out or whatever took place in the past. That, yeah, it's kind of like slowed everything down in regards to, you know, moving along, you know, taking that leap of faith. But it, like I said, it's also affected your own stability within yourselves, right? Because you've just had so much shit to cut out, so many toxic people, situations, all the rest of it, you know. And it's probably been in different ways for you. So you've had to like overcome the physical challenges and, you know, deal with those aspects in your individual lives, and then you can address the things within your connection, right? So that's kind of like, I feel like what you've been doing at this time. So in regards to your hopes, the Three of Cups here, you have the Ace of Cups, And the Seven of Swords in reverse here again as well. You know, Seven of Swords in reverse has come up twice. So I think you just don't want it to be any deceit, any lies between either of you. I think you both want to just communicate very openly and honestly. You're hoping that, you know, if you offer this cup, you know, which is everything you have to give to the relationship, to this specific person, then they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to deceive you in any way. That they're going to honestly want to reciprocate that, right? Wholeheartedly. And that they're willing to bring everything to the table also. That they're willing to commit. That they're willing to show up, you know, pretty much for you in this relationship. And, you know, so that's what you're hoping for. That's your best possible outcome. You're hoping that anything that was kind of like not being communicated before will be discussed. Anything that you feel like was unclear will be, you know, will be clarified, right? Anything that was kind of disguised or kind of not kind of, anything that was coming across as kind of ingenuine will be dealt with. Anything that, you know, any lies that were told in the past will be dealt with, and the truth will be communicated overall, yeah? So that's what you're hoping for. In regards to your fears, this Queen of Pentacles in reverse here, i.e. the rejection, you have the High Priestess and the Page of Wands. Yeah, so I think you're afraid that if the rejection comes, you're going to sit there and be like, I knew this. Like, you know, I knew this was going to happen, and yet I put myself in this situation anyway, you know, because I knew I didn't have everything together, right? And even though that, you know, I've been fixing my situation, you know, in whatever form that comes in, I've been working on myself, you know, I should have known that it was still not going to be enough. Like, this person was not going to accept my offer, you know, because it was clear that it was never going to accept that. Why would they accept it? It's that kind of energy, right? But I feel like, again, that's just your fear talking. That's, you know, because you being so vulnerable is terrifying for you, Gemini. I really feel like whoever this is for, like, even though you're not afraid of being with this person, you're not afraid of committing at all at this point, even if you were in the past, and that's one of the things that you addressed here. So yeah, this is the thing, you're not afraid of that at all. And at this point, you're just kind of afraid of how they'll respond to what you're saying. But like I said, you don't know until you try. You don't know until you put yourself out there and just be honest about what it is that you want. So who knows, you know, why not at least say, I tried, I now know my answer, and now I can go about my life accordingly, okay? So Gemini, I hope this helps. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you found it useful, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And yeah, I will be doing another reading for you in no time. So take care for now, and I'll see you soon.